the Q, I needed just one single letter that hadn't been used before. There's an R, A, B, D, C, and every department, not a Q. Uh-huh. No, and something more. There's a party in Denmark, a political party called Dansk Folkeparti, the Danish Public Party. And I'm calling it the Denmark Party in my book, right? And when we are voting for an O. I just had to do a little thing there, because this is the party that wants this Sonderdezernat Q to develop. I think I'm closer to Assad than Carl. Yes, I'm a very cheerful person, and but I experience a lot of soreness in my life. I had the grandest family in the world when I was 10 years old, and now they have all been gone, more or less. And that's the same thing about Assad, you know. He lost a lot of things in his life, even though he's sticking up, you know, he's doing like this and being humorous about things. But Assad, he's there, you know. He's not like Carl, absent-minded. He's there all the time, and he's got a lot of things to do. But Carl, I feel very close to Carl according to laziness. I'm the most lazy person in the world. I mean, and therefore I'm working like hell. My father, he was the most lazy person before me in the world, and he's the best educated man that ever was in the whole world. I mean, he studied everything, and he had any exam in the world, from conducting in conservatory to being a minister of a pastor, to be a surgeon, psychiatrist, doctor in French, German, anything, you know. He studied all his life, only because he was that lazy. He knew he had to sit down and concentrate, me as well. And wasn't I that lazy that I am, I would believe that I could do my stuff in 2-3 hours every day. No. Doesn't work so. We have a lot in our private lives as well. I mean, yeah, this is my great-great-aunt. In fact, she was a lesbian, but was she? I mean, you have got your thoughts about other people's that are never coming up, and you leave it be. That's the great thing about human beings. I mean, to let them live their own lives when they close their doors. And this form of respect, Carl only gives Assad because he's helping him, he's catalyzing Carl. I mean, Carl knows very well that he's worn out, he's finished, you know, doesn't like his job anymore. But catalyzed by Assad gives him a new life. And that's the respect he turns back. Not to ask him too thoroughly, but it comes. Because we have a story of Carl that goes through those 10 books. And the story of Assad is, of course, developing too. I know the stories. These were the first stories I made in my head. And, of course, curiosity is one thing, necessity is another. And it's very necessary for Carl to know something more about Assad in the future books. Carl Mørck, he hates weekends because his life turned into loneliness. And like many people, home means a lot of tasks, a lot of things you have to do. He has got this, we call it a paper son. I mean, he's not the real father of Jesper. And he's always begging something from him. Morten in the cellar. Now even Hardy, who can't walk, is there. It means trouble, you know, neighbors and so forth. And he's the head of the trouble. Could you say that? And weekends are always interfering in what you're doing. So If you haven't got any hobbies and don't like anything specific to do, like gardens and so forth, then weekends is hell for most people, like holidays. I learned to enjoy weekends and holidays, and I'm so happy about that now. But before, very difficult. I needed to build a little house in the weekends or something. Yeah, but it's a problem, you know. Taking 10 years to write 10 books and always have a year of holiday. It doesn't make sense, right? Of course, they couldn't be 10 years older within 10 years. They could be a couple of years older. This is a problem for the movies as well. We have to find actors that still look like they did when we started, only turning 3 years older. And Carl Mørck is, you know, he's in his late 40s. And a lot happens when you're in the late 40s and 10 years after. Look upon me. I was a kid when I was 45 to look at, not anymore. So therefore I have to compress it a little. And also to make the scenery change a little. Sometimes in winter, sometimes in autumn and spring, summer. I have to jump a little. So from now on and until the fourth book, actually 4 years passed, but a little slower it will be later on. But it's a long story, and the one is pointing further on to the next. Persons must appear from one book to another. For instance, Merete Lynggaard in the first book, she turns up in the fifth, just a little. Persons from my 3 first books are also coming into the books, you know. This is a study in itself, right? I'm making a lot of fun of it myself. And a lot of things I'm doing, they never realized, the readers. So I enjoy that a lot.